Ever wonder what sets the ultra wealthy apart from the rest of us? Well, success leaves clues, and I've done the research to bring you the success secrets that the ultra wealthy have been hiding from us in plain sight. I've delved into the lives of the ultra wealthy, studied their habits, read biographies, and read countless books on the subject. And I've distilled down the principles that anyone can apply to their own life and endeavors to make themselves more successful. Let's get into it. Let's start by talking about Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, he's one of the wealthiest and most successful people who's ever lived. Between X, SpaceX, Starlink, The Boring Company, Solar City, he has made billions and billions of dollars with his businesses. He's had rocky relationships, multiple divorces, and his health has suffered from the work that he continues to do. And you might wonder, why does he keep going?
No one should put this many hours into work. This is not good. People should not work this hard. They should not do this. This is very painful.
Why would someone with as much money as he's made across his working career continue to do it?
So let me sure hope it was worth it.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up. I mean, I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
He's put everything on the line to grow and scale his businesses. Money is the last thing that he is concerned about. Which brings me to my first success principle, is that you cannot be driven by money. If you are only doing something for the monetary gain, then your heart will not be in it and you will not get your best performance. Let's talk about LeBron James. So LeBron James is the first active NBA player to reach billionaire status. LeBron James has earned $479.5 million across his working career. And he is either the #1 greatest NBA player or #2 greatest NBA player of all time. And one side of LeBron that a lot of people don't know about are his business endeavors. So LeBron has a 1% stake in Fenway Sports Group, which owns part of the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool FC. He also has a stake in Blaze Pizza. He had an investment in Beats by Dre before they were sold to Apple. He owns a nutrition company called Ladder, which he founded with Arnold Schwarzenegger. LeBron has a media group called Spring Hill Entertainment and $80 million worth of real estate investments. So what's the theme amongst all these things? Ownership. LeBron James has ownership. So one of the biggest principles of the ultra wealthy is to make a bunch of money is that you have to own things. And there's only really 3 forms that ownership can take: financial instruments, property, either real or intellectual, and businesses. That's it. Those are the 3 forms of ownership that build wealth. And those are the only ones. Sure, there's a bunch of crossover between the different paths, and there's a lot of different choices you could make in those 3 paths, but there's only 3. The reason ownership is so important is because you can't trade your time for money. Everyone only has the same 24 hours in the day. So these forms of ownership allow you to use other people's time. They allow you to extend your reach and do more work in your 24 hours than other people can do in theirs. And that is why ownership is so powerful, and this is one of the secrets of the ultra wealthy. They are not trading their time for money. They're trading their money for more money. People who scale their net worth to $1 million usually have one or two of those three, but you'd be hard pressed to find any billionaire who doesn't have all three of those forms of ownership in their portfolio. So let's talk about Ivy League schools. So in the early career of someone who graduates from an Ivy League school, so the first 3 years after they graduate, on average, they make about $86,000. And that's compared to the $58,000 that their non-Ivy League peers would make. And you might be wondering, is their education any different? Are they using different textbooks? And the answer is no. It's the same material. An engineering degree is just as hard at an Ivy League school as it is at any other school. So why do they have this advantage? Why do they earn so much more in their early career and that gap continues to widen in their mid and late career? And it's the network. The network is their net worth. So it's not always what you know, it's who you know. And Ivy League schools connect you with more people of influence and wealth. And if you want to move up in the world, you need to surround yourself who've already accomplished the thing that you're attempting to accomplish. And that's really what you're paying for when you pay for an Ivy League degree. Let's talk about John D. Rockefeller. So John D. Rockefeller owned the Standard Oil Company, and he was the first person to really vertically integrate his business. So he bought the entire supply chain that led to his oil. He bought all of it. And that drastically lowered his cost and increased his margin and profitability. But he wasn't trying to expand his business. He was focused on oil. Rockefeller was an oil man through and through, and he was only buying these ancillary businesses to reduce his cost of his main business, which was oil. At his peak, Rockefeller owned 90% of the oil production in the United States. So it brings me to my point that Rockefeller focused. He leveraged his unfair advantage in oil and focused his energy on that. Concentration creates wealth and diversification preserves it. So by concentrating on oil, Rockefeller became the wealthiest man in the entire country. If you can focus and take the things that you are truly exceptional at and magnify them to the nth degree, you will get exceptional results. The truly successful people just are a bridge connecting resources to get things accomplished. They aren't wondering how they're going to get something accomplished. They're wondering, who can I get to accomplish this thing? Let's talk about debt. And I don't mean the Dave Ramsey kind of debt where all debt is bad and you're stupid if you have any kind of debt.
Stupid was stupid squared. Multiplying stupid by stupid is stupid squared.
That's not what I'm talking about. There's actually a difference between good debt and bad debt. So good debt is debt that is earning you money. It's debt that you have that you are using on an asset that generates more money for you than the debt burden of the debt. Bad debt is debt that you have that hurts your finances. So good debt helps, bad debt hurts. And that simple understanding of good debt versus bad debt means that ultra wealthy people are not afraid of debt. They are willing to take on millions and millions of dollars of debt because they know that they can take that money and turn it into hundreds of millions of dollars. So I know all the Dave Ramsey folks are screaming at me, but it's true. Let's talk about Roger Bannister. So Roger Bannister was the first man to ever run a 4-minute mile. Before Roger Bannister ran a sub 4-minute mile in 1954, they assumed that it was physically impossible for a human being to run a 4-minute mile. But once he ran that 4-minute mile, there have been countless other individuals since him that have run 4-minute miles. Roger Bannister doing it once proved that it was possible. It created a mindset that it is possible to do this thing that we all viewed as impossible. The ultra wealthy have a mindset of how do I make both things happen? They don't settle for one or the other. They work to get both. So an example of this for me is my wife and I are saving for a down payment on another short-term rental, an Airbnb investment property. But we also want to buy a house for us, a primary residence. So you would think these two things conflict. There's only so much capital to go around, but there's a creative way around this. So we can assume someone's mortgage, come with a low down payment. It will preserve most of our capital, and we will still be able to acquire our short-term rental. So it's not either or, it's both. We can make both things happen. And when you start to challenge yourself with the thought process of how can I make both things happen that I want in my life instead of choosing between the two, you will come to more creative solutions and you will be surprised at the results you have. So the principles I presented to you guys today really take a lot of dedicated practice to implement in your life. So this is merely an appetizer. This is the beginning of that journey of actual mastery of these principles. I haven't figured them all out. I haven't been able to optimize all of them in my own life. And the only way that you're actually going to be able to push yourself to utilize this information is by setting goals. So one thing that I noted in my studies of the ultra wealthy is that the difference between someone who just makes $1 million and people who make billions is their deliberate setting of long-term goals and setting smart goals that work back from where they currently are all the way to that long-term goal. So it becomes a plan. They have this blueprint that they're working toward, that they've built and strategized. And I have a video that discusses this very thing, how to set smart goals and actually achieve them, that you guys can check out. Please like and subscribe if you found this information valuable. If this gave you some insights that you did not previously have, I'd love to keep sharing this information with all of you. So please do me that favor of hitting that like and subscribe button and sharing this video in my channel with family and friends so they can learn what you're learning. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next time.